The Northwest is the best place in the world to grow that cat-loving mystery herb. Today, I'm going to find out about the herb that makes kitties go absolutely nutty. My quest to solve the many mysteries of catnip begins in the Emerald City, Seattle. I'm on my way to a store there that sells tons of this stuff. People up here are into their catnip. Now, did your cat like catnip?
Yes, he goes a little crazy.
Our cats are addicted to it.
It's like they can't get enough.
Makes you like they're in love. And they've had a cocktail at the same time.
Yeah. Did your cat like catnip?
No.
So it's not for every cat. A third of the cat population turn their nose up at it. But it sends most into a mental orbit. Look at this. His whole body is filled with it. They sniff it, roll in it, eat it, and it can throw them into a frenzy. Today, I take a trip into the crazy and mysterious world of catnip. You know, I was told by a few cats that if you're looking for the best variety in catnip in the Pacific Northwest, this is where you go. Hi.
Hi.
I'm John.
I'm Melinda.
Melinda, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here we are at Bark.
Yes.
Fantastic. Is this all catnip?
Every last bit of it.
Despite the name, Bark has one of the largest catnip toy selections I've ever seen. There's organically grown. There's a much bigger variety than most people think, which is really neat. Eggs and bacon. These are sushi.
Sushi.
Wow. Catnip comes in fresh, dried, in spray form, or in cat toys. Oh, he's going straight for the banana. Oh, he's attacking. This could be an issue. Jack, listen, buddy. You can't handle all of this, all right? One banana's enough. I don't know a lot about catnip, but I know that kitty loved it. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Ow. Okay, so there's a huge demand for this stuff, but I can't help but wonder, what's in catnip that makes cats go wild? And where does it come from? I'm on my way to Trout Lake Farm in the middle of Washington to get some answers to the mysteries of catnip. 252 miles south of Seattle is Trout Lake Farm. With 90-plus acres of catnip fields, it's the largest organic catnip supplier in the U.S. Nestled in the Cascade Mountains, Trout Lake is the perfect microclimate for growing the strongest catnip around. Hey, guys.
John, I'm Phil Hintz, the East Farm Manager for Trout Lake Farm, and this is Darwin Hintz. He's the Assistant Farm Manager.
Well, nice to meet you guys. I know nothing about catnip. I want to learn everything about catnip.
Catnip grows in the wild.
Okay. Catnip grows in the wild?
Catnip grows in the wild.
So have our viewers out there seen catnip as they're walking along in the woods?
Probably on roadsides on the East Coast, more so.
Okay, you hear that, tabbies out there? East Coast, get there right now. And is it used for anything else?
Actually, it's been researhed to be used as an insect repellent. The catnip oil itself is extracted from the plant, and they're finding it's a natural insect repellent to replace DEET.
Can you compare this to a wine vineyard?
I think you can in a lot of respects, because a lot of the highest quality catnip is the result of where it's grown and the climate.
There's been many years of research that Phil has done actually in growing this crop to learn how to come up with the right active constituents so cats will react to it.
Oh wait, you have a secret recipe?
Catnip needs to mature to a certain stage in order for the nepentolactone levels, in order for them to reach a certain level, so cats will react to it.
Nepentolactone is the key chemical responsible for the plant's effects on felines. The leaves, stems, and seed pods of catnip are covered with microscopic bulbs called trichomes, which store the nepentolactone until they reach maturity and burst.
Smell that. These do have the nepentolactone in them now, but it's not as strong as when there's harvest time.
Now it smells like a mint. It has a minty smell.
Yeah, it's also catnip is in the mint family. So
oh, really?
It's also a mint.
You can call it cat mint too?
Yes.
Smells like a mint. I'm gonna eat this whole thing. You want to swallow this?
Chew it up.
It's good.
Yeah. It's good. It's like a little minty feel. It's a little dirty. It's got a little dirt feel to it. I'm not going to learn any of the secrets from it, but
I don't eat enough vegetables, and I think now I feel a little bit better.
Do you feel more playful?
I do.
Phil and Darwin's harvesting process is a trade secret, but here's what I know. The catnip is harvested in early July when it's fully grown, flowering, and the nepetalactone levels are at their highest. The leaves, flowers, and stems are harvested and then air dried for 4 to 7 days in a cool area outside to preserve the oils. Once dry, it's hand weeded, then crumpled into bags and ready to be placed in your kitty's favorite catnip toy. Phil and Darwin won't tell me much more than that. One thing I know for sure, Trout Lake's catnip is kitty approved. I still have unanswered questions, like why do kitties go gaga for catnip? So I'm headed to Washington State University.
We've seen catnip in the store. We've seen catnip in the farm. Now let's go talk to some doctors to find out what catnip really does.
Veterinarian Patricia Talcott is a catnip guru, and vet Matt Mikas knows his cats.
Hopefully we can solve the mystery of catnip today.
Okay.
So we really don't know a lot about catnip, right?
No, we don't.
Why?
Well, because there's very few people doing research in this area.
Why not? I mean, kitties need to know more about catnip. We need to know more about catnip with the kitties.
One of the biggest reasons why we don't have a lot of information on catnip is it's not considered a toxic plant. There's not a lot of money to fund projects in that area.
Can you give catnip to a cat every day, every hour?
It's incredibly difficult for a cat to be exposed to enough of the plant to result in really severe reactions.
That's good news for the kitties.
There might be differences with the genetic makeup of individual animals that might make them more susceptible or less susceptible.
But what makes the genetic makeup in a cat that is affected by this plant? We don't know.
We don't know. Most of the research has shown that those volatile oils stimulate certain receptors in the nasal cavity.
What are the two most extreme effects that you've seen?
Very relaxed, almost like they're in this state of sedation, versus other cats that get a little bit more amped up. They might start to drool, they might start to roll around on the floor. Sometimes they get a little bit agitated, a little bit anxious, almost like they don't know how to deal with that sense that's coming into them, and they might even get a little bit aggressive.
They say that kittens and older cats aren't affected as much. I mean, do you know why?
I would think it would have to do with the olfactory senses as they get older, and also when they're really a juvenile cat.
Want to grow your own catnip? I head outside with Dr. Talcott to find out how.
How does one person start growing catnip on their own for their cat?
Well, I think it's very easy, at least the way I did it. I just went to a local nursery and asked for a potted catnip and planted it in the flower bed.
And it's pretty cheap, right? It's not that much?
It's relatively inexpensive, and it does very well in all different types of soils.
And you don't really have to water it that much?
I don't water it at all, and it comes back year after year.
So there's still a lot to learn about catnip. It's almost as mysterious as cats themselves. One thing I know for sure, it's perfectly safe. So give your best bud as much catnip as she wants, and let the fun begin. Back with